Welcome to Jurassic Park. Welcome back to the Gallagher Shots YouTube channel. Not Jurassic Park as it might become apparent later on, but this is a double bill. Brucey's last minute mags strike once, twice and three times in just over 90 minutes, and we love them. My name is Emil, and it was not pretty in Newcastle's last two games, but we got 4 points from Chelsea and Everton, and these are the joint player ratings for the two games. Now, as the games were so drastically different but similar in the way they finished, I'm going to do two separate scores for each player because some of the performances were very, very different indeed. But one man that was consistent was in goal. It was Martin Dubravka. Chelsea weren't that clinical, but he'd had some good saves, one in particular from Kante. Otherwise, he did a good job. In the Everton game, it was poor defending that let him down both goals, and there was nothing he could do about it. He was exposed. This is time and time again the thing that keeps on happening, but he did the rest to make sure that we somehow stayed in that game and then came away with a point. Madness, isn't it? 9 for Chelsea for Dubravka. You get an 8 for Everton, having a very good season for us. Starting off at the back, Emil. Chelsea, he was part of that pack defence. Bit of a passenger for the most part of the game. And then in the Everton game, he came off the bench. Bit of damage limitation, but he was also part of that final push, which got us the point. So 6 for Chelsea for Kraft and 5 for Everton. Fernandes is next. Good tracking back in the Chelsea counters and a really near miss header where he came very close. Maybe should have done a bit better. As for the Everton game, real lapse for the Keane goal. He did well in the final moments though. He obviously set off the things that happened just before Lejeune got his second. So 7 for Chelsea, and just for the final bit, a little bit better than some of the others, he gets 4 for Everton. On to Lascelles, who's a good presence in the team. Good to have him back, organising that back line. More for Chelsea, though, that was, rather than the Everton game. There was a bad decision that allowed the second Everton goal. He also had to put up with all that shit from Calvert-Lewin, and let's be honest, he would have absolutely throttled him. Anyway, Lascelles gets 8 for Chelsea, 3 for Everton. His performance wasn't as good. Clark is pretty well drilled at the back, certainly was against Chelsea. Few sloppy bits where he lost the ball going forward that could have been really damaging, but the Everton game, he was just late to react to a lot of it. It wasn't the best we've seen from a very underrated player, I think, in our team. 7 for Chelsea, 4 for Everton. Fabian Schär came on in the final moments against Everton, and he was involved in both of the scrambles. He put one of the balls in before Lejeune did his overhead kick. He was also there or thereabouts in that madness where no one had a clue what was going on. So 6 for Fabian Schär. Lejeune, keys to the city. He'll get rid of your dead bodies. Buy him a beer. However many years since dinosaurs went extinct, times that by 10. And that's your rating for Florian Lejeune. What a way to get your opening goals for Newcastle United. And yeah, I'm still not sure what happened. Going on to the next man, a notable mention for this fella, Jetro Willems. Could not do a joint thing without giving him a mention. Obviously, only saw a little bit of him against Chelsea, and he went out with a rupture to his ACL, which is a horrible way to go out. But you know what? Brilliant, brilliant asset for us this year in black and white. So I think for the final time this season, I hope, 10 for Jetro Willems. Richie, last gasp off the line against Chelsea. He kicked a flag into a lad's balls. What more do you want? He also delivered the corner for Lejeune's first. He also found Fernandes for that second. Good couple of games back from injury for Matt Ritchie. 8 for Chelsea, 6 for Everton, because he really came to life in those final 20 minutes or so. Sean Longstaff had a late appearance against Chelsea, some good group defence, so I'm getting back quite a lot, didn't really do much. Everton, he was diabolical in the centre, he looked awful once again. I don't know what it is about him and his brother, but they've only really had one decent performance this year. So Sean gets 6 for Chelsea and 2 for Everton. Matty Longstaff came off the bench against Chelsea. He gave some life to kind of press us forward. You saw a bit of a vigour in him. And, when that corner went in, you saw him and his brother getting back. They were the ones who said, right, we'll stay back, but everyone else just get forward. In the Everton game, he was only marginally better than Sean, but a weak game at Goodison. Only 5 minutes at home, so can't really rate him, but 3 for Everton, which is a shame because Matty did all right against Chelsea. So silver lining on that one, I guess. Shelvey played against Chelsea only. Would have been good to see him against Everton, but you know, tactical masterclass, wasn't it? But delivery of the ball to Joelinton and the first half against Chelsea, it was sublime and it was so close. Fernandes as well, he found him with a free kick, came very close. Shelvey did an all right job, but other than that, it was a quiet game for him, and I think that was for most of the team against Chelsea, who were rather strong. 8 for Shelvey. Going on to the man of that game, Hayden. Great display against Chelsea. I thought Chelsea. I thought he looked really good. He got the all-important goal, which we will remember for a very long time. In the Everton game, it was a very drastically different game. Standing off in the build-up to both Everton goals, he wasn't defending very well, and just part of the madness that was Newcastle on Tuesday night. So Hayden gets 9 for Chelsea and 4 for Everton. On to Miguel Almiron, who didn't have a great amount of freedom against Chelsea. Same thing kind of happened against Everton. He gave his all in both games, but he was just swarmed. He was swamped. He just couldn't do anything that we've been seeing in these last few games. And I'm not sure if it was the fact that Saint-Maximin was on the pitch against Chelsea, but Everton, they just had about 5 men to him every time. It wasn't great. So 7 for Chelsea for Almiron, 5 for Everton. On to Christian Atsu. He only played against Everton. He probably played better against Chelsea, and that was a game that he wasn't even involved in. Shite. 0. Move on. Saint-Maximin, who played against Chelsea only. He was cut out by Chelsea, similarly to the way that Almiron was. He was off the pace as well. I know he's coming back from injury, but he got 90 minutes, knackered by the end, but he got that assist. And, you know, he was rightfully rested against Everton, but he was certainly missed. So 8 for Chelsea, but I have to say that would have been a lot lower if it hadn't been for that assist. I've just remembered I've got this beard on, so let's get wrapped up with Joelinton, who came so close against Chelsea. A brilliant header, you've got to say. He looked a lot more confident in the box against Chelsea. Tough angle as well. He almost did the same at Everton. There was a cross from Hayden, which didn't have a lot of power on it, but he kind of glanced it towards the goal. Pickford dealt with that one, but not the rest. And Joelinton's threat fizzled out very fast after that, unfortunately. He was subbed off and brought on for another striker. Or was it defender? Who can tell these days? 6 for Chelsea for Joelinton, 4 for Everton. Those were 2 less than confident displays, you have to say. Really naff one against Everton, bar the final 120 seconds, was it? I can't remember, but 2 games where points were picked up in the last moment. And besides, who doesn't love something happening in the last minute? That's Newcastle United. See you after Oxford.